Hello and welcome to Shout About London, the place where you get to know the people to see and the places to be in this great city of ours. For this episode 50, your host will be myself, Stuart Groves, and my learner business partner and staunch London enthusiast, Ben Gamble.
2 multiplied by 10 plus 1 minus 1.
Hello everybody and thank you for tuning in. Shout About London is back for episode 50 inside our Brick Lane studio. If you caught us last time, thanks for coming back. If you didn't manage to listen, we had a Christmas and New Year special, so that gives you an idea of how long ago it was. Before I get you involved, Ben, and I can see you sitting there itching to go, back in form, aren't we? We're back. This new episode is sponsored by, who's it sponsored by, Ben? Stardust London, London's first and only immersive winter experience. For the first time, Stardust London has paired unique immersive experiences with a commercial talent lineup, which is accompanied by a wealth of street food traders and with many major brands supporting their unique creation with a nostalgic vibe running through the talent and on-trend selection of an immersive experiences. There are many well-known brands associated with Stardust London. I read that a bit quickly.
Do you know what I was going to say?
Cool.
That wasn't bad for your first sponsorship, really, but it was too fast.
It was too fast, yeah. I worried about it being, I think I made it too long. I think I would need to trim a line.
It's fine. You were excited. We've got a podcast. I'll let you off.
On camera.
Got a podcast. We've got a sponsor.
We've got a sponsor. 50 episodes. We've got a camera. We've got Archie behind there with his headphones on. Archie, come around in front of the camera just quickly. Just wave at the camera. Hey, trendy. There's Klaus over there. He won't.
Why are you pointing out all the people we can't see?
I don't know, because Klaus, I don't know if people think actually Klaus exists when they listen to the show. It's just like an ethereal being. One day he's going to be interviewed, but that'll be episode 100. Anyway, it's been a while, Ben. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right.
What do you want to talk about first?
I've got a lot of questions.
Okay.
What are these twins?
Okay, so the Wade twins.
I've just bumped into some twins out there.
Yeah, no, the twins. And just because of budget restrictions, we've only got one microphone, but I believe next week we're going to have, are we Klaus? We're going to have two microphones. Klaus was like, they're twins, they only need one microphone. That was his response. But they are influencers, social media influencers.
I thought you were an influencer.
And apart,
you told me you were an influencer.
I don't influence much, mate, to be honest, other than what people watch on TV and at the cinema. So, the Wade twins, they are influencers. They are associated with Stardust London, and they are going to be doing the weekly shout every week for us from now on, and we're going to interview them later. And we're going to send them down to some of the experiences. We're going to send the twins, as Ben coined that term. And
I must admit, I felt very intimidated.
When?
Well, just meeting the twins.
When
they're both 6'2",
better looking,
very good looking.
Damn it!
And I thought, we need to up our game.
That's
why I'm wearing a shirt and you're wearing a t-shirt.
Well, this is a good segue, actually. I'm wearing the -1 branded T-shirt. It's too small for me and it's riding into my armpits, so I'm already sweating horribly.
Why have you curled the arms up as well?
Mary did it for me. She said it would look better.
Does
it look better? It does look better. Nods all round. Okay, go on. -1. Talk about it. It's up there on the screen. It's on my shirt. This is what we did in the break.
Venue.
Sorry, go on. I did say you could.
No, go on then.
No, that's it. No,
it's all right. We have a new venue. Stu will tell you more.
No, go on.
We took on the ground floor and the basement of the laundry building in London Fields.
That's it there on the screen right now.
How big is it? 11,000 square feet.
We've
in
had
total?
Conflicting reports. Even the construction team have changed their minds every week. But yeah, about 11,000 square feet.
It was a restaurant and nightclub, and we've taken on both. We've repurposed the nightclub and are marketing it as a performing arts space.
Don't talk to me. Talk to them.
And we've still got the license of a nightclub. So we've got 700 capacity 3am license right in the heart of London Fields. We're going to be doing everything from live gigs to location shooting, big product launches, gigs, anything goes.
Yeah, typically we've had spaces in the past where we've got to be mindful of landlords and residents and
Why are you being the boring one?
No, I'm just saying that's what we've got to do. But now we've really got an anything goes space in the sense that we can do a bit more fun, edgy stuff. And we would hopefully get those other more like.
So we've called the venue -1. So that intro, as soon as I'd said it, I realised that 2 multiplied by 10 plus 1 is not -1. It's 21 because it's 21. What's it called?
What were you trying to get to episode 50?
21 seconds to go. So Solid Crew, when they rap, that's part of the rap.
What? Okay, right. Yeah, but I thought you were
2 multiplied by 10
50.
plus 1. Romeo done.
Oh, right. Is that what you were doing? I thought you were adding up to 50 and you were going to get -1, which would have made 50, episode 50.
I was trying to think of a way of getting to -1.
Tenuous.
Anyway, that equals 21 because it's...
So a lot of our... I'm going to stop him talking now. A lot of our favourite venues in London get closed down every week. There should be a little soundtrack over here, should there? Like a little sad, moody piano. You know, when the Alley Cat closed down on Tin Pan Alley, do you remember that? Fucking hell. Anyway, -1 alludes to the fact that every week we feel like we're losing another venue. So me and Ben take over these spaces that are going to get knocked down, and we pop them up with some experiences, live performance venues, nightclubs.
I thought it was because it's a basement.
And also, it's a basement, so -1. The other space is called -2, slightly lower. It's quite clever, that, isn't it?
How does that work? So if we save 2 venues from closure.
Technically speaking, yeah. When technically speaking, yes. But I know you're being sarcastic. So moving on, the ground floor we sublet to some friends of ours who've been on the podcast.
Why are you pointing? You know I
you
can't pronounce it properly.
You always say it
Funny
wrong.
Colour Productions.
Funny Colour Productions. Gonna love that. Funicular Productions. Go on.
Have taken the ground floor of the laundry building and are doing the cocktail time machine.
You know when someone shares an Instagram post and they're not actually being sponsored by someone, they have to say, what do they say? They say something, don't they? Like not in partnership with, or they have to say they're in partnership with someone when they're being paid for it. Don't they? Paid partnership? Anyone know what I'm talking about here?
Yeah.
We're not in paid partnership with Lucasade, but I'm drinking one, so I feel like maybe, am I allowed to do that on YouTube?
Yeah, you can do what you want, mate.
Now we're on YouTube, mate. We're fucking big game. Well, say again? Copyright strike. There you go. We're in trouble now. We've had some calls in the past. PRS.
Cocktail time machine
Back
is
to
an
business.
immersive experience like nothing else.
Yep.
3 amazing cocktails from 3 different eras.
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 Yeah.
So where every hour is a celebration of a different happy hour somewhere in the world.
That's the entrance to it. That'll be one of the entrances to it. I don't know if you can. I actually don't know if they're going to see that on the screen. But anyway, we'll see. Right. Just quickly. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to review Journey London next week because this is a long episode. So I'm just going to tell you who's coming on. This week's episode, we will be talking to Electronic Theatre. Electronic Theatre delivers immersive team challenges in interactive digital rooms called Lightboxes. The Lightbox pods combine projection mapping, touchscreen, motion tracking, and surround sound technologies to create an entirely new form of digital group entertainment. And so it was that on a cold day in Brick Lane, we welcomed Electronic Theatre onto the show. David, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Great to be here.
Absolute pleasure. We were out with one of our property guys, helps us find venues and look for stuff that isn't quite on the market yet.
Okay.
And he was waxing lyrical about this new thing that he'd seen and how people were moving around and with the headsets on and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, we'll be getting them on the podcast. So you got a phone call very soon after that. Before we go into the concept and what it's about, I'd love to talk about you and what you've done to get to this part of your career.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started my career as a management consultant. I was at Bain & Company, which, although sort of relatively boring and a bit like George Clooney and Up in the Air, you know, a bit of flying around and doing other people's dirty work, it is a great place to learn sort of business skills, I guess. Like, love an Excel model and all that stuff. I made the natural choice after that to move to Tough Mudder, which was at the time, it was sort of early 2012, was kind of a very new thing, growing very fast. Spent about 4 or 5 years there in the main events business, where I met Will, who's my co-founder, who's the CEO and founder of Tough Mudder. And then he and I worked very closely together then for the next couple of years on a gym concept we have in the US called Tough Mudder Boot Camp. And that, which hopefully will become clear why it's relevant, I'll spend a second on that. We sort of developed a tech platform that helped sort of power the workouts. So basically sort of screens that you can see around the workout for each sort of station. It's kind of like a circuit style workout, which really helped make that be possible to put out that on in all kinds of places where it's otherwise really hard to find trainers, where basically all the good trainers come to cities. Makes sense.
I thought you meant trainers to go on your feet. Sorry. That was,
oh, no.
That shows how much I go to the gym.
Trainers, yeah. It's probably an American thing. Like gym trainers, all the good ones go to cities. And so if you're trying to open gyms not in cities, it's useful to kind of have something that will work without sort of the world's greatest trainers. So we used to sort of develop the tech platform to kind of manage that. which becomes relevant as we think that the tech in this kind of helps it be really scalable and all that good stuff. So I left in 2017, I think, and then I'd moved back from the US to the UK for like family stuff, and then Will at that point kind of moved to like a chairman role at TM, so had a bit more free time, and we decided to look at something else, and so. Started looking around at all kinds of immersive experiences, the kind of stuff is on your guys' show all the time, various things there, and try to figure out if there was kind of an opportunity there to do something that kind of really brought people together, but did so in a way that also you could kind of change up the content quite easily, because I think sometimes some of the challenges of these sorts of businesses is people have a great time, but then if you want to do the next thing, it's often quite hard. You like rip out a set or kind of really sort of close and reopen in order to do the next thing. So we wanted to kind of see if there's a way of maintaining sort of all the fun and group dynamic that lots of your guests, all their experiences have, but do so in a way that means you can kind of change it up so that people can come back every couple of months to see something new.
Is that because it's digital?
Yeah, exactly. So it's for people who aren't aware, it's we call it immersive experiences in interactive digital rooms.
Which is going to be the best planned interruption of all time. 2 Peronis delivered for yours truly, one for Klaus.
I'm glad to see.
There you go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for coming.
No worries.
Cheers, Klaus. Cheers, Ben. Cheers. Episode 50. Cheers.
Congratulations. Half century.
If I haven't completely ruined your train of thought,
no, it's fine.
Please continue.
Yes. So for those who weren't familiar with us, we do immersive experiences in interactive digital rooms, which is a bit of a mouthful, but essentially means that you and a group of friends, up to 6 of you per pod, can go and play basically an hour-long experience that, to your point, is kind of powered by software. So it's kind of there's projection on all 4 of the walls. They have touch screen as well, and you wear this kind of slightly geeky visor with a tracker on it that means that the technology in the room can track where you are. You can obviously use the touch screen, and that's how you kind of control the mini games that you're playing.
What year was this when you left where you were to develop the content, and then how long did it take from then to open the doors?
Good question. I think it was 2018 when I actually sort of finally left. I'd moved back to the UK I think in 2017, and then it was probably like 6 months of just trying to like try everything out there. It was quite a fun 6 months. Mm-hmm. All kinds of things in the UK, in Europe, in the US.
So when you were you trying specifically games things, or
just all kinds of experience stuff? So I know you guys had the Crystal Maze on. We went to Crystal Maze. We've got Bodeborg in Sweden, which is kind of like a kids fun park type thing. Kidzania, which is sort of more oriented towards kids. All the immersive theatre that again you guys have had on. So just a whole bunch of stuff, just to understand what's out there. Right, it's not a space. That's my background, right? It's not theatre or kind of experience background. So we kind of wanted to figure out what was there and see where the gaps are, right? Because there probably are some, and you want to kind of develop something that's not copying anyone else's. Mm-hmm. So in terms of time, that was sort of 6 months, and then we kind of had this idea of creating a sort of group environment that's powered by gaming, and we developed a kind of very rough prototype, which was essentially kind of like a version of Pong, but with 2 players running up and down the side of a room with a Kinect camera strapped to the ceiling in a glamorous industrial unit in Wood Green, which was in sort of the end of 2018, and then raised some financing, and then that kind of allowed us to sign the lease on our first spot, and kind of really build out the full platform, the full software, and then we opened then in that October, so that was 2019. So I guess end-to-end, probably a year-ish of like development, and opened mid-October last year. Where was the venue, the first venue? So the first venue is right by Southwark Tube. It's called Scoresby Street. It's a railway arch, about 2,500 square feet, so quite compact. And find that it's near enough to the city and sort of central London to get corporate groups, but also it's kind of between Waterloo and London Bridge, so families and stuff can make it in from further afield. Did you instantly go with like a 5-year, 10-year long lease, or did you take it over on for a short period of time? So we've got a lease with a break in it to kind of Yes, I'm sure you guys have lots of similar folks on, right?
Exactly.
10-year lease is a long thing to commit to, and
Yeah.
you kind of don't know how these things are gonna go. You hope they go well, but you never know. And so yeah, we negotiated a break in there so that if we decide it, and it could even be that the concept works, but that was in the right spot or that kind of thing.
Yeah,
then
of
we've
course,
got a bit of optionality to do something else.
What do you think your biggest success is so far?
I mean, it's probably a bit cliche, but like the customer feedback we get, really, really pleased with that. I think, to use a restaurant analogy that someone told me, they said, if the food's good, you can figure out how to make it busy. If the food's not good, and even if it is busy on opening night, right, it's not necessarily going to last. So, we were really pleased to see early on that really people loved it, and on TripAdvisor and Google.
Well, it's different because you revolutionised pretty unchanged games. Like even Pac-Man hasn't really changed since. Is it Pac-Man?
Yeah, there was Pac-Man.
It's sort of inspired by that. Yeah, what we're looking at is the video of the first challenge, which is called Alien Aptitude Test. That's set in 80s London, so hence the kind of retro vibe. I mean, look, to be honest, one of the reasons we kind of thought that as a theme is to mean that we could have like slightly less fancy graphics, I guess, than in particular your sort of VR and those kind of things, which visually very, very impressive, but takes years just to develop the content and literally millions of dollars.
Is any of the technology proprietary?
So all of the sort of game code is, so that's all developed in-house, and there's a bunch of software that pulls all the kind of projectors and trackers and stuff together, so that's all proprietary. The sort of hardware, as it were, is kind of commercial grade, so not so much.
Looks really fun. It does. Well, it's because we always talk about, because we've had a few VR experiences on the podcast,
Sure.
we've been to a few ourselves, and it's always you always feel slightly disjointed from the people you're with because everyone's got their own headset on. Whereas this, you can bump into your friends and.
So, Otherworld, who we haven't had on, which was next to Drafts in Haggerston. I don't know if you've been there.
I've not, but folks on the team have. Yeah.
But that was really weird. I mean, I didn't do the gaming, so I don't want to slate it because But you go in, and it's basically a long table like this. It's very like Clockwork Orange feely, like the Milk Bar in Clockwork Orange. Sure. You're like, well, this is mad. Everyone's in white, so it's quite cool and weird. And then there's these separate pods, and I imagine inside the pods they're having a great time. Obviously, you're on your own though, so you're very secluded. So it's definitely not this. But then you sit at the table. And then all you hear is screaming in all of these booths because they're playing these games. So if you're actually in the bar, which they've created, all you hear, there's no music on, you just hear screaming. It is really, really weird and jarring. I think you need to be involved in the gaming, otherwise it's like I need to leave. I need to get out of here. Presumably you've got a bar, and because you said you had food, right? So is there a separate section where you
so we didn't know, maybe I misspoke, we don't actually do bar or food, so it is literally just the experience. We have like partnership with there's a couple of restaurants on our street that do that, but
is that something you'll develop into?
Maybe I think our focus is on creating the experience, I think, and at this stage that's quite a reasonable amount of work. So, and if I think about kind of where, what do we want to be good at? We want to be good at creating hour-long experiences that, that really do bring people together and that really are fun. And to your point, hopefully they're positive screens where you're creating that kind of vibe. And look, there are lots of people who do a great bar and do great restaurants. So it's not. I would say we're not sold on us, frankly, needing to do that right now, but you never know.
If you had do you think you're at the stage now where you just want to see how this plays out for the next year, or if you've had a great opportunity, would you look at opening another one? What would you?
Yeah, I mean, we're actively looking for sites. Hence why I think your guys' agent had maybe heard of us. We're definitely looking to expand. We did a Series A round of fundraising at the end of last year.
Nice.
So have a bit of cash to put to work. Very keen to try and make sure we can demonstrate that it's not just a London thing, but or a Central London thing, that it works kind of across markets as well.
And you're looking in the States as well.
We're starting to look at that. It's obviously both Will and I, a lot of our careers were in the States, so have reasonable network there, and some good relationships. And the gym business I was talking about earlier was a kind of franchised gym operation. So some of the kind of aspects like finding property and negotiating legals and all that stuff is kind of stuff we've done a bit before. So definitely something we'll look at. It's a continent, not a country. So as the people say. So it's definitely a big step. So we don't want to kind of rush into anything. But yeah, definitely on the we'd certainly love to if we can.
What's your biggest setback so far?
That's a good question. I was reading this. I think as we were preparing to open the first unit, we had to understand whether we needed a license or not. So because we're kind of quite a new concept, understandably, there's not like a thing that you can't find a definitive answer as to whether immersive group experiences require a license, and we don't serve food or alcohol, so we always don't need a license for that. It sort of came to our attention that we needed the same sort of license that like a outdoor cinema needs, which was a surprise to us, to be honest. And that meant we had to kind of pretty quickly scramble and make sure we had everything we needed for that. And we kind of ended up getting a couple of temporary ones to like cover an initial period, and then before the full one came in. But I'd say that the people at the council were pretty understanding and like kind of positive about it. So it was nice.
Had you signed the lease based on if you don't get the change of use, you wouldn't have to commit to it, or was that where the stress was?
So the lease actually, that was initially the plan.
Yeah.
But as so it's the Railway Arch. So it used to be owned by National Rail, but they sold all their people to the Arch company, set up, and so we were literally caught right in the middle of that, and so we sort of negotiated pretty much the full thing with National Rail, and then the transition happened, so we had to kind of redo the whole thing with Archco, which took a couple of months. So by that point, we actually already got our planning, so we kind of had to scrap the bit that said, wait for planning, which was that was also quite a big delay, which was certainly not planned, and I guess try and make lemonade out of lemons, and it meant that the games folks and could really spend some time working on the content whilst we were trying to get our lease done.
Cool. And then in terms of if people want to come along and try it out, what are obviously it says tickets start from £20 up there, but cost times, dates?
Yeah, so we're open 6 days a week, so days are easy, from weekdays from midday till 9 is the last entry, and then at weekends it's 10 till 10. People often like to come in early on a Saturday, and then price point starts at £20 for adult, 15 for kids.
Okay. Do you find you're like super busy in the evenings or daytimes, like weekends in the daytime, I assume, or is it?
Yes, it's a nice mix.
It's not a bar. I wondered if it changed.
Yeah, you get sort of people on nights out and corporate groups weekday evenings, and definitely Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then weekends tend to be more families. I think I was saying before we started, last week was half term, so we were basically stacked out the entire week, which was great. But what's nice is that because those groups probably don't want to hang out together too much, then it kind of naturally segments, right? Like the families are there at the weekends. Like no one does their kind of corporate outing on Saturday morning, so that kind of naturally selects that.
I don't know if you've said this, and forgive me if you have. What do you call it? It's not VR, right? Or is it? What would you call it?
I wouldn't call it VR. I mean, we don't have to have a name for this sort of segment. Other people have called it like XR for like mixed reality. Some people have called it AR because it's kind of like augmented reality. I think probably the Magic Leaps of the world maybe disagree with people who said that. I honestly don't have a term for it.
Dean has an interview with VentureBeat, and he said electronic theatre is a video game for people who don't normally play video games.
Yeah,
which is quite nice.
Yeah,
not exactly. As succinct as VR, but it's not 2 letters.
Right.
But it's good.
Yes, I mean, immersive experience in interactive digital rooms is that, but even that is quite a mouthful, isn't it? So,
Digital rooms. Yeah, that's cool. Anything to announce? Is there anything coming up you want to announce, or is
I don't think so right now. We are close to having second unit sort of lined up. So hoping to announce that soon. We'll let you guys know as soon as we do.
Yeah, please do.
And,
we'll share it.
Yeah, exactly. Love to.
Have you ever had any twins play electronic theatre?
I'm sure we have. I wouldn't know definitively every guest who came through, but I don't know.
Can we send the twins down?
Please do. I'd love to have them.
We'll explain who the twins are. Have we explained who the twins are? We'll explain who the twins are. How about last question, completely away from all of this stuff?
Yeah.
Where do you, obviously you said you've tried all of these experiences,
Sure.
so I'm going to ask you what your top 3 are.
My top 3?
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of
Don't have to be in order. I'll let you off. I'll let you off the hook in the fact that they don't have to be in order.
In terms of stuff we tried for this, Crystal Maze was a great time. The guys there, that was a lot of fun. The Secret Cinema, I always think I'm blanking on the Harrison Ford film.
Star Wars. Blade Runner, sorry. Yeah, Blade Runner.
I
knew it wasn't Star Wars, even though that's still...
Blade Runner, thought that they did an incredible job with that.
Yeah. I didn't go to that. Did you go to that? No.
It was...
Went to Back to the Future is the best thing I've ever been to. I say that on every show pretty much, but yeah.
In the Secret Cinema thing, they like had a cloud that was raining inside.
Really?
I mean, the part of me that pays for stuff was like, oh my goodness, that looks really expensive, but it was amazing to be part of, like really, really fun.
It's like how they make on like film and TV, how they make it rain.
I don't know.
Yeah, like on screen as well, yeah. Milk. It's milk, isn't it? On Singing in the Rain.
Is it?
Yeah, milk. Yeah. Sorry, anyway, carry on. That shows up.
That is, you learn something every day. Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Just one more little bit of fact about that. He had a temperature of, I think it was 103 degrees when he shot Singing in the Rain, and he did it all in one take.
And then went and laid down.
That is fucking insane. In milk. Anyway, carry on.
Wow. Following that's tricky. And then
you got one more.
I would say I love the like punch drunk immersive theatre stuff I've been to. I really enjoy it. I think that's probably more like a personal I really enjoy that stuff rather than it being as relevant to what we do. But,
what's their new thing? They've got a new thing, haven't they? They've partnered with, or is this not supposed
with
to?
HBO, they partnered with
Sky. Well, yeah. What for? Can't remember what it's for now.
Sure.
They've just partnered with Sky for I think it's the world's first immersive television program or film.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
very exciting.
I just read a small article on it the other day. Facebook, Instagram. I've got Facebook electronic.theatre.london.
Yep.
Instagram electronic.theatre.
Perfect.
I couldn't find Twitter, but then I don't really use Twitter, so that's probably why.
We do have a Twitter. Okay. It's like electronic but without the vowels. Theatre.
Okay, that's like a game show in itself to try and find their Twitter.
Yeah.
And then is the website. What's the website? Because I didn't write that down.
Electronictheatre.com.
There you go. Nice and easy. Well, great to meet you. We will send the twins and hopefully make it down ourselves one day as well.
That'd be
Brilliant.
great.
Thanks, David.
Thanks again.
So Ben, sorry, I was a bit ridiculously loud, wasn't it? I didn't need to be so enthusiastic there. So Ben.
You're back, aren't you? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking you're back.
I am back.
Which is making me think I'm not.
Klaus is getting another beer. I haven't been delivered one. That's quite... downgraded. Downgraded from Peroni. Okay, so, yeah, sorry, there's a show over there. Should we carry on? Electronic Theatre, what do you think?
Interesting. I mean...
Ben's the superlative man. Brilliant.
No, I just want to go and try it out. I like the fact that there isn't a bulky headset and you can see each other. You're all in the room. I feel like that would be better than whacking on a completely submersive helmet.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And the fact it's called electronic theatre is interesting because there isn't really anyone else doing that. I don't know what makes it theatre though. I should have asked. Like, why is it I guess it's because is it kind of like an escape room kind of thing where there's a narrative to follow? Well, we don't know.
Potentially, don't know. Let's go.
We need to get the twins.
We're sending the twins. They can come back and they can answer all our questions. Speaking of which,
do you know which twin is who, by the way?
Yes, Henry's the one called Henry.
Okay.
So that's then the other one's Will, isn't it?
Oh right. Do you think people get mixed up? People used to get us mixed up as well. You know that.
We're not twins, and
what, you think you're better looking?
So
no.
Is everyone like literally? He's going with that. Like, I'm not definitely better looking. Some people have fetishes, don't they, Ben? So you could be in line for that.
I feel sick. I love electronic theatre. I want to go and check it out. I feel like they're going to expand ridiculously. I mean, especially with look at Tough Mudder and how that's just exploded. So if they've got that vision and that capital and that
they've
drive,
got very bold ambitions. They want to open 10 million sites within the next 3.5 hours, I think.
Well, I like it. I kind of respect it.
No, I like it. I like it as well. Right, let's get them on. The twins are outside. They're bouncing up and down more than I've been, so let's get them on, shall we? Are you excited to see what this is going to be like?
I feel intimidated.
The weekly shout is coming up with the Wade twins next. Henry, Will, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
We're excited. This is episode 50, so it's a big thing for us.
Big 50, feel privileged to be on it.
Milestone. Yeah, finally got you on.
Well done.
I think we wanted to talk to you about the Stardust connection and kind of what you're doing on the show, which is obviously to give the weekly shout, etc. But let's talk about who you guys are, your background for a little bit. Obviously, got you looking dapper on the screen.
Stop it.
And then
there we are.
And then
do you know what? I don't even like that picture. It's so old now.
I like it.
He likes it. I'm not
it's
sure I like it that much.
Jamie Redknapp vibe.
Do you know what? My friend used to always call me Jamie Redknapp at university, and I met him the other night for the first time. And I was like, I thought you were an idiot. Picture and sent it to my friend because it was quite funny.
Oh, nice.
No, I'll take it. I like Jamie Redknapp.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I've met him before.
Yeah, a little bit about us, you want to know?
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, cool. So we obviously are a set of identical twins.
You start. You kickstart.
Oh, kickstart.
Give me a good rock intro, please.
Okay, I will. We're 27 years old and we live in London. We are full-time content creators. So we do a lot of fashion, lifestyle content creating on YouTube, Instagram, and I'll say TikTok now as well. So yeah, we do a lot of base a lot of our stuff on fashion and lifestyle. And we've been now full-time for
about a year and
a little bit now. Yeah, we used to both be full-time I was in the events industry. Henry worked for a small drink startup.
That's it.
And then we just found that we were
twins.
Trying to
oh shit!
We eventually, 27 years later, took us this long to realise I actually was related to him.
Yeah.
No, and then we were working really hard. We were doing all this stuff on the weekend, trying to network, do all our things. Then we're like, listen, this is taking over a little bit now. Slowly drop out. So we stopped our full-time jobs, kind of eased it out to 4 days, 3 days a week, 2 days a week.
And then we went quite strategically, didn't we?
We went full-time. That's what we're doing now.
So as content creators, do you sit there in a jacuzzi with champagne going, what should we create? And then do you storyboard it? Or do you just get invited to loads of shit and just take videos? Or what does that mean?
It's almost like that in a way, but it's not as glamorous as you think. Like a lot of people just think, you get invited onto these amazing things to create content, take photos and stuff. But it's actually a lot more behind the books that we actually do. Like we don't get invited to those out of the blue. We actually have to network ourselves to get those jobs. So we're constantly reaching out to brands on a daily basis, seeing how we can help them elevate their message or stuff like that. Because obviously that's important. They want to use our audience to showcase.
Hello, by the way, audience. Thanks for checking us out. Audience. Appreciate it.
We want to they want to push their brand in some way, so they use us to show on their audience. But we would only ever do that if it fitted with their brand, fitted with our brand. So I wouldn't exactly promote McDonald's because to me, I don't eat fast food often, unless I'm really hungover, maybe. But
which is every Sunday.
But most of the time, we like to push things that only work for our brand because that's fair for our audience. Like you wouldn't see Men's Health promoting McDonald's, would you? So it's the same kind of thing with what we do.
So I'd say with our work and the brands we work with, we turn down about 50% of our work. So we get about 50%, and some comes through and we're like, that's not suited to us. Like,
but do you turn it down and he takes it? So 50% actually.
Imagine that. Well, actually, it does sometimes. Well, that actually has happened. Like, I wouldn't want to work with 4 watch brands in a row within like a space of 2 weeks because that would be like, how many watches can you talk about? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit silly. You only wear one for a while, then you kind of get a new one. So things like that, But going back to your initial question, like. It's not as easy as you think. And when we first got into this industry, we kind of thought, this
I'd be easy. Get a mobile phone out, sit or stand over there, take a picture, job done.
But we're actually, I'd say our jobs are in a content creation is like you're your own accountant, you're your own videographer, you're your photographer, you're your editor, you're like spokesperson for yourself, you're a PA, and your agent. You've got to find your own work. Yeah, you sometimes get jobs for you, which is great, but half the time it's us to go into events, networking with people, sending those right emails, building those connections, because it's all about connections at the end of the day. You have to build those contacts with the right people. Once you get those contacts, then hopefully you can build a relationship and a good rapport with them, and from that you can hopefully get work. And
well, that's a really good segue onto Stardust, to sponsor the podcast now. So how did you know those guys? How did you meet Dean, Lucy, and What do you think?
It's an unfortunate way.
Yeah, tell about it.
No.
So we've actually known one of the founders, Dean, who is in this room.
Hiding at the back.
I've got to say nice things.
Always
I've
does
got to
that.
say nice things because he's
He's
here.
always looming in the back.
Unfortunately, no good. So we actually met back in Marbella a few years ago. Now we went
Fair few years ago.
Yeah, we went out to Marbella a few years ago after university. We thought, you know what, just finish uni. Let's not go home and sit on our asses. Let's go and have a bit of fun and party and earn some money at the same time, which is what we did. We did that at the age of about 21?
I think
20?
20,
age 20, yeah. So we all did it, had a good time, really good time. And then we kind of just stayed in contact with Dean over the last few years. He's been in London, we've been in London, never actually crossed paths. And it's been like, fine, we bump in on the street or whatever. Yeah. Dean mentioned Stardust, so we're like, we've got to get involved. So we went to the first one, which was really good fun. Henry had too many beers though, so I had to go home early.
Such a lie. I think you actually went home. He's trying to cover his own back here.
Nice.
That was me.
So we stayed in contact, and then we met Lucy through another friend of ours, and Lucy was through Dean, and then it went from there. So we went from meeting them recently.
I think the one thing we realised with Stardust is that it's we kind of saw what they were doing, and
we understand the vision of what they want to create in London, and this whole immersive experience is only getting bigger, and people like those fun nights, and they're so different. And once you get onto them, it's like, this is actually sick, and people really enjoy that, and it's a whole experience. It's not just going to a club and getting wasted and leaving. It's actually getting involved with it and actually almost leaving your day-to-day life and actually immersing yourself in something completely different, whether it's stepping through those Stardust doors and having actors come up to you and talking absolute garfunkel. Like,
are you reading this anywhere? It's much better than what I wrote to introduce this. I was like, Stardust, really good.
Moving on.
I was like, you're getting this from somewhere.
So you done that?
Like, Dean's just writing it on the
That was
back
a
of
prompt. That was a prompt really. It's behind there. The camera can't see it. It was a prompt over there.
I think we're getting better on podcasts.
Yeah, we're getting better.
Here's a question: the difference between brothers and twins. I've got three brothers, and you like talk over each other quite a lot, and you cut in. I noticed.
Do you know what?
And there doesn't seem to be any like aggro. My brother did that. We'd be like, we'd just be talking over each other non-stop. Whereas you kind of let the other one go and relax.
Yeah, we do. But I think
we don't
it's
do
important
that.
because if not, otherwise we'll just constantly be like,
We'll be bickering.
Henry, shut up.
My turn to talk. So you had too much tension already.
But I think one thing we are trying to work on is actually to get better at that, in the sense of we don't, because our whole thing we really want to get towards is actually presenting. So we actually want to be more presenters. So if we're on X Factor presenting it, if anyone from X Factor is listening, we'll take Demo, Leary's job, or Anton Dex. Anyway, we can't be interrupting each other to the audience. There's like, what are these twins doing? So you've got to get better.
Not,
just muttering over each other, but we bounce.
If you're giving way, then it kind of works.
If you give back to the audience as well, like if you give a bit of banter behind, like, let me talk, like something like that, it does work. So it's about how you find it together and
how we interact together, which we do. It works out well so far, which is good.
Nice. So what have you been up to in London recently? I know you were on a boat when I called you the other day. You just got off a boat or something.
We have. So do you know what? I think it's just literally, we're February now. Do you know what? I'll just tell this. January went so slow. And February it's just gone at like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, man, I feel
like, do you feel like
I'm wearing it on my face?
It's mad, isn't it?
Thought you were.
Yeah, you look a little withered. No, I'm kidding. But no, it's gone mental. So January for us is a bit of a quiet month. Everyone's kind of after New Year, everyone's after Christmas, everyone's a bit like, oh geez, back in the office.
Basically all brands don't have any money because they've all spent it at Christmas, which is understandable. So they're kind of planning. So our month is, for us as well, is planning.
About planning.
We have meetings with brands, see what they're up to, kind of pencil things in, and then come February it's like London Fashion Week. So once that's kind of done, it's kind of like things all start rolling again. So we're meeting up with loads of brands at the moment, work's tickling over, coming in, and brands have their ideas of what they want to do this year now.
So budgets are in now.
So budgets are in and stuff. So it's kind of like, brilliant, what can we do to help amplify your brand's message? How can we work together again or continue those relationships? And so we've been the past few months has just been quite slow, but it's been a good planning series. But we just, like you said about the boat, we just went on this pretty cool, Richard Branson's just launched this brand new Virgin Voyage experience called the Scarlet Lady.
It's not a cruise, it's a voyage.
A voyage, we'll say.
Okay.
But don't give me that
plane, wasn't it?
Sorry?
Wasn't Scarlet Lady
the Lady Scarlet, I think. Or Scarlet Lady? No, but this is he's called it the boat as well. And it's got and we went on that, it was a really fun experience. It was like a 24-hour trip, and we literally just stayed on the boat. Didn't move, which was a bit annoying.
Stuck in Dover.
Stuck in Dover.
It wasn't the Caribbean, unfortunately.
But it was out our window, put in the window, hoping to wake up to like they just whisked us off. Like, where you woken up in the Caribbean?
Is it like a rock and roll style?
It was. Do you know what? It was a really weird experience.
Yeah.
I've never. Neither of us have ever been on a cruise ship or a voyage in this case ever. So we kind of got on.
Say that.
So they kept saying it. I quite like. They got saying it. I just carry on saying it. It's good brand messaging. So I
Virgin, take us back.
Yeah.
Who's talking to me then?
Yeah.
You're looking right.
So we didn't know what to expect on this cruise. And so we went around and it was a bit like weird. We felt like we were on a hotel, but it was weird. And then we're like, where are we?
It was a bit of a
and
weird experience,
you're walking around, there's like clubs everywhere, big, huge rooms. You're like, this is all on a boat. It's absolutely mad.
Yeah, you almost feel like you've got a village and you're living on a village and you can't move anywhere else. So it was quite cool. And we went, there's like a club, like there's a casino on there.
20 restaurants.
And we basically had
like
loads of food. The whole thing was to talk about this thing, and they want to obviously promote it. So you reaching out to loads of social media people, press.
So they had about 500 people down. It was funny. We were walking in, and you just see everyone doing everything. Everyone's with a camera in their hand. Everyone's taking selfies, vlogging.
Funny,
So it was like, we were in an element really. It was quite fun.
Do you feel like under pressure to like not do this vlogging everyone else is doing? So when everyone's got their phone out, to like not have your phone out and go and do something else.
Do you know, sometimes. Do you know what? I think you can't, with these events and stuff, it is work to us. You've got to go and you've got to go to these events and you've got to treat it like your job, like you guys do it a 9 to 5 or whoever. You turn up, every day's different, you've got to do something and work. But sometimes you've also got to put your phone down and try and experience it for what it actually is and trying to enjoy it, no matter where you are. Like,
it can be so hard,
if you're having dinner with friends, you can't just get your phone out and take a picture of the food all the time. You want to be able to converse with if you're just going for a beer with your mate, whether you're going for a Nando's or whether you're going to the cinema or whatever, put your phone down. We try and put our phone down a little bit, but then we also are just said, right, it will take a quick minute to go and film this bit or get that or try and get that.
I wouldn't say a minute. For us and Will and I, it doesn't take a minute. Because we're quite perfectionists, so we like to make it quite good. But yeah, I like that question in the sense like, if everyone's doing it and you're not, you kind of feel a bit of pressure that you have to. Yeah. So sometimes, but it's all about doing your own thing and be unique. Like if everyone else is doing something there, try and move away from that and actually do something a bit different, because being different is what people want, right? Yeah. If you're all doing the same thing, then it's not good. Or you do the same thing, but you just do it better. Yeah. So that's one thing we try and do.
So the very first weekly shout.
Yes.
What is coming up? What do you think is coming up in London this week? This week or weekend?
London there's so much in London, isn't it? Like whenever we go for a night out, like one of my mates will say, I've got this in West, I've got this in East, and it's like, where do you go? But we have. I wish you could do it all in one night. There's so many events popping up left, right, and centre, isn't there? But the one we actually have coming up, which is like next Thursday, is the cocktail time machine, which we're actually really looking forward to in the London Fields Bar, which is launching next week as well. And I've heard it's a pretty fun, immersive experience. So we're actually really looking forward to heading down to there, checking out.
And I want to say on camera that you were invited to that, irrespective of us, right? You got that through from something else. So that's great. That's awesome.
That looks. But do you know, we get invited to quite a lot of events, Will and I, not in like an arrogant way or anything, but sometimes it's like, is it really going to be as good as you think?
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth going?
Yeah, is it worth going? But when it's an actual event like that, which another business has put on, it sounded so exciting. And I love those immersive experiences where you get to like really get involved with it. And it just seems a fun one. So we're looking forward to heading down there and checking it out.
Yeah, we get that because we get invited to events all the time, being an events company. And we really
I wouldn't have
we only go to like the ones that we think are really
Well, it seems like at the beginning when we started, you were like invited to every event. Like, come down, it's a free bar. We're like, free bar? Bloody hell. But now it's like, free bar. Great. Like,
another free bar.
And they try to sell you that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we don't even go to these events to enjoy the free bars. For us, it's about networking. And we only go there to really, if we know someone important who's going to be there, we'll go there to meet them and then we'll leave. So that's our whole thing.
Trying to get an email, trying to get...
Yeah, we have our list of, say, 5 people we want to meet, get their contact, get their numbers, and then that's the time to head home, You don't really need to do anything else. There's no point in standing around partying.
Do you have a strategy to network your way to the most influential person in the room?
100%, yeah. When we first started, we got invited...
In a clever way, though. Yeah,
we got invited to like a Bell Staff event. Well, no, we never got invited. We knew there was a Bell Staff. This is like our first ever event. We knew there was a Bell Staff event. We didn't even have our names on the door. And we were like, how are we going to get in? So we're like, screw it, we're 2 lads, we're just going to walk up and blag it. So we literally walked up to the front door, like, hey, Henry William Way. They're like, your name's on the guest list. We're like, well, actually, we did get invited. Listen, we're clearly like into fashion, do you know what I mean? Like, anyway, tried to wing it and they let us in. And then from there, you're like, right, you find out who the person running it is. It's really simple. The girl with the notepad at the door, obviously, she's got a name who works for the company. I'm like, oh, who's downstairs? She's like, oh, you look for a girl in Georgie, she's wearing red. So you'll go down to that person and just literally say, hey, how you doing? Hey, you're Georgie running this event. And they'll be like, oh, sorry, Georgie was just a really random name, by the way. But could have been anyone. But anyway, so yeah, we just find that person. That's kind of our strategy. Like, you find out who it is. And there's so many people you can talk to. You just pick up random conversations like, oh, do you know where the bar is or something like that? And you get talking to someone, or what do you do? And then they're like, oh, well, I work for this company. I'm like, oh, so you run this event? They're like, yeah. And then it's just like, oh, what do we do?
Bit of a snowball effect then, isn't it? You just get to meet people, walk around, and then get their email, just go for coffee.
So I wouldn't really say it's a huge strategy, but it's more of just knowing what to kind of do.
And then what to say. Yeah, smooth chat.
Cool.
Which is what I do, not one.
Thank you for coming in.
That's okay.
Thank you for doing our first weekly shout.
No worries.
And unless you've got anything else to get off your chest, we'll see you next week.
I think we're good, mate. You're all good.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
See you next week, lads.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
I'll be back, but I don't know
So Benjamin,
Yes, mate.
the Wade twins, the first set of twins.
The first set of twins. What does that even mean?
I don't know what that means. I mean, that was so bad I feel like doing another take, but we don't do that here. We don't do retakes.
I've got to ask, did you tell them about Cocktail Time Machine?
No, because I was talking to them out there saying, look, because it's the first one, I was like, what have you got coming up for the Weekly Shout? And they said, I've got this invite. And I started saying, what is it, to our showcase last week? And he said, no. But
No, it's the Cocktail Time Machine on the ground floor.
He said it's in Hackney, let me check. And I said, that won't be us, it might be the other guys. And he opened it up and it was, Funicular. So speaking of which, I know we talked about it before, but Funicular, they sublet the ground floor and they're opening this Friday, is it?
Yep.
So that's their
will be
launch.
the Friends and Family launch.
So officially from next week, you'll be able to get tickets.
Cocktail-time-machine.com.
Boom.
I like the twins. What nice guys. But yeah, as I said, I just feel a bit intimidated.
Intimidated.
But
let's see what it brings. They're gonna come back on next week. Again, I promised them and ourselves that I would break the fourth wall and say that we are actually recording 2 episodes in a row. So when they go, they're actually when next week. That it's still this week for us.
Are you going to acknowledge that this is the first one we're videoing as well?
I said it. I said that. I think I've said that. Have I said that?
I don't think you did.
Have I said that? Episode 50. No, I did. I said at the beginning, episode 50. This is the first time we've ever filmed it.
I like how you're looking at the camera every 2 seconds as well.
It's like, can you
see a reflection?
I'm actually looking at Archie just for support, moral support, and he's going, you're good, mate. You're good. You look good. Go on, Sam. I'd like to thank David Spindler. Sounds like a character in a movie, doesn't he? And also thank the Wade twins for coming on, Stardust London for sponsoring, our man Klaus over there, who's always in control, Archie, who's done a great job with the camera work, haven't you, son? And I'm going to say something really condescending to thank you, like son. You want to catch us, you can get us on info@shoutabout.com, Instagram, shoutabout.london, Facebook, shoutabout.ldn, Twitter, shoutabout.ldn. I'm shoutabout, STUART. That's shoutabout Stuart on Instagram. Ben's got Instagram now. We made a big thing of this the other week. Ben.gamble.
No, nice.
Better name on Twitter. Your name on Twitter is Ben Don't Gamble, isn't it?
I'm actually changing all my social handles.
Ben Don't Gamble.
I've got a new handle.
What is it?
I'm not going to announce it yet.
Should be Shoutabout Ben, really.
No, it's good. It's perfect. But
really?
I can't.
Glenn's
Coming
Ben.
soon.
Glenn's Ben.
Glenn's Ben.
Think of it reference. Right, Facebook. electronic.theatre.london. That's their social media again. If you want to hit them up on Instagram, electronic.theatre. Thanks for coming in. I think that's it. See you next week.